there everybody, it's Kelly with Kellyscards.ca, and this is the third card in the Everyday Card Kit number 5. I have picked a little bit more of a fancy card, either a wedding or anniversary card, or even an I love you card if you change the sentiment. So to get started, I have some of this really neat paper. This is a little bit of a thicker paper. I really like this paper. It is really pretty, and you can feel the raised of this design on this paper. So to get started, I embossed this strip with a Tim Holtz embossing folder, and we're just going to attach this strip here. I would recommend something like a double-sided tape for this, just because of the glitter and the glimmer on that cardstock that we're going to be adhering this to. And I'm just going to adhere it in 3 places, as we're going to have a lot of stuff covering on top to hold this piece down. There we go. Take that off. We're just going to place this onto the card base, and you can kind of place it where you want. I always like to leave a little edge sticking out just so that you see it through on the other side. And that's on there now. And now I'm going to put the whole piece onto the card base. So I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to use some score tape. Yeah, this is a very thick cardstock actually, and it really is nice to have a thick cardstock, but it also adds a little bit of a heaviness element to the front of the card, which we will rectify in the end here. I will show you that. So I'm going to take all the adhesive off now and bring my card base in, and I'm going to open it up again so it lines up nicely. And you can put it on this side or this side, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you like the look better. And I'm going to line that up, and I'm just going to push this on. Don't really want to rub because I don't want to pull this silver off, so I'm just going to push down. And once I've got that on there, we can start layering the top. So I've die cut a few pieces here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to adhere this black piece to the white, and I've done this just to help the image stand out, because most of the colors in this card obviously are white, silver, and black. So to help put some contrast in, I'm going to layer up this mat like this. When we put the silver die cut, it's going to really help it stand out from the card. So just to help add a little bit dimension and to help it stand out, I've also die cut out of this same die this on foam. So what we're going to do is we're going to adhere this piece right to the foam base. I'm going to use my tape runner because it's nice and sticky, and it's easy to kind of get into these little spots. You just have to be careful around the adjoining arms that you don't pull too tightly. And now we're going to add this right to the foam. And I just kind of suggest to start in one corner and move to the next side of the die. So what you're going to do is just align it at the bottom, and then just pick it up and just check that you're right on. And then you can kind of align, and we can do the girl first, making sure she's nice and aligned on that foam. And then we will get to the hands, and I will do head there and work my way down. Now if you have a little sticking out, which I do here, you can just pull it up and try to align it just a little bit better. So that it's right on. And that's just going to give us a little bit of a dimension off of that card. So to start out, we were going to adhere this piece here, and I'm just going to take some score tape and go through like this. And I want to make sure that it's really good in here, so I'm just going to take my tape runner and get these few little spots at the edges. And we're going to have a sentiment in this. I'm going to use this one. There's others in your kit, so we're going to have to keep in mind that we want this sentiment here. We're going to have that sentiment there, and then we are going to put this down. So I like that this is kind of in a good place here, and I'm going to put it down and really press this in, because again, this type of sparkle paper, sometimes things don't stick well to it. So that's adhered nicely. And now I'm going to do my sentiment, and again I'm going to use the score tape on the sentiment. And now I'm going to add that just under there. And just to go with the curves in the card, I've rounded the two corners on this sentiment just to help with the rounded edges and of course our oval here. So now that that's on, we can add our people. And you can use score tape, you can use the tape runner. I haven't tried a wet adhesive. I'm not quite sure if that would go well, but you can certainly try. I'm going to use the tape runner because I know it is a good adhesive for this type of project, and using the foam. And I'm just going to be really careful here because we don't want to move the pieces too much around. As long as you get the big parts, you should be good. So now we're going to bring this in, and we're going to want to center this right into the oval. So we know that there's going to be a little bit of her dress maybe sticking out on this one side, but for the most part that is pretty centered there. And to finish this off, to bling this up, we're going to add these 5 bling. You can place this anywhere. It might be nice along the sentiment, but I worry about covering up the G, that you won't see the G. So I'm going to put it along the edge going down. And this is just going to help add a little bit more sparkle to this card, which is pretty sparkly. But really like how that kind of balances off with the silver and the white and of course the black. Now, because this is such a heavy cardstock on the front, I really want to put something here to kind of balance it, because we don't want the card to be heavy in the front. It's pretty good, but to balance it off, I'm going to have another piece that I'm going to put in here just to help balance the weight of the card. So in your kits, you'll find this piece. This piece is considerably heavy than the others. This is 120 pounds, and this is just going to help keep the weight on the back part of the card just a little bit more even in the front, considering that front piece was a little bit thicker. Even with a white inside, I always like to put an extra layer on the inside because of this. So we're going to open this up and place this in, and I think it just finishes up the card nicely. And that, as you can see, is just finishes up the card. It's just a little bit more stable. So this is the finished card. Really like this die. This is just a generic die that I bought off of eBay. It's not a specific company. I really like this die because it kind of is the classic wedding card type of die, and it's not a cutesy image. It's, you know, again with these colors, how it works, and it really looks quite classic and a more of a traditional type of wedding card than some of the other wedding cards I've done in the past. So I hope you've loved this card. This was a fun one to put together. Again, this is card number 3. There's 3 more cards coming in this series, so you can check those out. If you've missed the first cards, you can check it out. I have a playlist for the Everyday Card Kit 5. And I just want to thank everybody so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day.